Like that. Good morning to all. This is Dr. Venkateswaran, Placement Officer, K.S. Rangasamy College of Arts and Science, Autonomous Tirchangur. So, this is our first trial and error method. We planned for an Workotopia 2022, and we had made success, I think so, with so many speakers for this week from March 7th to March 12th. And we are having nearly 12 speakers from corporates, industries, and academicians are there. Okay. Now I hand over the session to our Central Placement Officer, Mr. Gopinath, to have some few words about our guest today, Mrs. Sali Jayakrishan. Gopi, please.
Thank you, Mr. Venkatesh, and thank you, Dr. Venkatesh, Placement Officer of K.S. Rangasamy College of Arts and Science, Autonomous. And it's my pleasure to welcome Ms. Shalini, because it's not just one day connect, it's not just 1 month connect, it's about last 5-6 years plus connect. She's doing a wonderful job in terms of the CSR initiative, in terms of nurturing the talents to the next level from the great brand called Infosys Limited. So I myself, Gopinath Subramani, heading the placement for the entire KSR group, looking at engineering, arts and science and diploma. Just few words about the KSR, because yes, everybody knows who is KSR Education Institutions, and we have about currently 18 institutions. Previously, it was about 16 institutions. Rightly, we've increased to 18 institutions across, with adding a baby called College of Nursing. They've started just recently, and we are imparting a quality education across the domains, across the fields of engineering, arts and science, diploma, and industrial schools also, which includes schools also. And I'm happy to share, yes, for the last 3 years, for the last 5 years of placement history. So we are breaking a record each and every year. It's about started with 2020 of 3,000 plus numbers, and with coming up 21 about 2,000 plus numbers, and 2022 is about 2,000 plus numbers. It's till date. So we are breaking record every year based on the requirements from the corporate and all the support from the principals and the entire team of KSRE. First of all, I would like to thank, and on behalf of our chairman in absentia, vice chairman in absentia, and all the principals in presence, Dr. Radhakrishnan, K.S. Rangasamy, College of Arts and Science Autonomous principals, welcome you, sir. So, on behalf of him, on behalf of the entire team of KSR CAS, on my own behalf, I welcome Ms. Shalini Jayakrishan, who's heading a corporate social responsibility wing of Infosys, with diversity and inclusion at Infosys BPM. She has a 20 plus years of experience. Prior to joining Infosys, she has worked with various multinationals and Indian companies in space of project management, banking, uh, a non-banking financial services sector. In her current role, uh, she has worked with multiple universities, colleges, state governments, and NGOs to enhance employability skills of the students, youth in Tier 2, 3, and 4 cities, and the people with disabilities. So really, it's a wonderful morning and wonderful moment to introduce Ms. Shalini, because you are doing a great job, and entire team is doing a great job in terms of CSR initiative, in terms of nurturing the talents to the next level. So before handing over the session to the principal, yes, today is International Women's Day. A happy International Women's Day, Ms. Shalini, and so we would like to continue our association with Infosys with you as well for a longer term. Thank you for the opportunity given for me. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Venkatesh.
event, Workotopia, was designed by the KSR College of Arts and Science in association with the Central Placement. We know very well from literature, English literature, we have derived a word, utopia, which means where everything is blissful, the atmosphere is really comfortable, and people don't have any, what you can say, problems. But you cannot expect an utopia when you go to your workplace. A workplace is a combination of challenges and opportunities. Keeping this in mind, and we wanted to address the paradigm shift that has happened in the workplace atmosphere and also in the work culture and also in the work behavior of the workforce. To keep everything collated together and to take outputs, valuable outputs from great people from the corporate world, we have decided that we will have a title which is going to be a signature title, and that event is going to be continued every year. Due to the pandemic, even though we are at the fag end of pandemic, we are supposed to be very careful. That's why we have decided to conduct this event online. And I thank every one of the participants, especially the delegates who are very busy. I know very well that too on a Monday morning. A week beginning is a very hectic day for any corporate personality. But even then, you have spared your valuable time for us, and exclusively, Madam Shalini Jayakrishnan, for giving your valuable time, Madam. And I do remember, as a former placement officer of KSR institutions, my relationship with Infosys, where Infosys was our day-one company. I remember Nanjappa Paliganda, the then HR, and other people who have helped me. And I am sure that the relationship will continue. And this event will actually mark a beginning of new inputs to be carried out, or carried by the participants. And I'm sure this event is going to be a very successful one, at the same time, a useful one. I wish all the success for the program. And once again, I thank all the participants, all the delegates, all the coordinators on behalf of me and also behalf of KSR institutions and on behalf of the KSR College of Arts and Sciences Autonomous. And a special wishes on the eve of the International Women's Day to Madam Shalini. Thank you and good day.
Madam, the session is now open for you, ma'am. You can present now. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning to the principal, sir, Gopinath sir and Venkatesh sir. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and a very good morning to all the students. I understand that colleges have opened, so we have moved forward and positively from the last 2 years where, everything in this system has taken a beating, right? And now things are getting back to normal, so we look at it very positively and see that there is a lot of good things that we have to look forward to. And with that, I mean, on a very positive note, I'd like to start giving all the students a little bit of what I know, right? What I have gained from this industry and what we are doing in the space of CSR, where we are supporting students. So in that space, I will just start off with a very small introduction about how things have been in the last 2 years, right? We've all faced this unprecedented times and never expected. We had BCP plans in place as corporates. We would have, if one center goes down, we have ensured that work continues from another center. And this pandemic has brought everything to a standstill, right? The whole world was reeling under this pandemic. So we have no scope of a business continuity plan working for us, right? So we were totally caught unawares, and we had to pick up from there and start all over again. And business as usual cannot suffer. So what I'd like to start with is that we should always have it's called a growth mindset, right? An open and growth mindset rather than a fixed mindset. It just means that we can no longer say that I'm going to do only this kind of a job, this kind. I think that you can open up the first slide. Only say I will do this particular job, this particular role, and but in this particular way, right? We have to be open, keep our minds and keep ourselves ready to accept change, right? Change is the only constant, and that's what this pandemic has taught us all about, right? From teaching, right? Lecturers have to innovate different methods, they had to adopt to be able to reach to the students. Right from there, corporates like us have to grapple with so many things, right? Information security, client work was never given to us to be work from home, right? The security needs and IT, a lot of security and IT requirements were there for us to be able to transition from being working from a particular, confined zone in a company to allowing our employees to work from home. So we had to immediately get into action, understand the client needs, how we can scale up, how we can give the clients comfort that even from home, our employees will be very careful with the kind of work they do, and the kind of security that is required by the client will be maintained, so to ensure that they trust in their data with us. So there's a lot of work that had to go in, and all this is possible only when we are open to change, open to different methodologies, learning, reskilling ourselves, right? We've been skilled, we've been trained in a particular way. All that had to change overnight. We had to reskill our employees in the shortest possible time. So all this is possible because the companies have to think differently. The employees have to understand that, they need to change and quickly get their act together and ensure that they are able to perform and give the best to the client. For all of you to understand, we have only increased our business after the pandemic, and our employees have scaled up to whatever the requirements were there. We had to stretch hours, we had to work for almost 15, 16 hours. Our employees were willing to do that. We had a lot of infrastructural issues. We had to ship laptops across different cities in India because employees started moving to their hometown. So there was a lot in terms of keeping the employees together, keeping their physical and mental issues together. So we had to run a lot of programs, individually speak to our employees, keep them and their families happy and safe so that they would be productive and do work, right? And apart from all the other medical assistance and other things that we help our employees, we had a lot to do with their mental stability in terms of all of us going through this pandemic and staying safe. So we have transitioned from that. We were continuously working from home for the last 2 years, and now when things are getting back to normal, we are looking at what is the future at work, right? So we are all figuring out how do we bring our employees back to work, how do we continue to ensure that productivity doesn't slip, clients are happy, we have enough and more business. And just to put it on record, companies like us are looking for huge talent in the market. So wherever you hear unemployment, pandemic has brought a lot of unemployment, restlessness, that is not the truth with the IT and ITES sector, right? We are hiring huge number of talent. We are looking for huge number of talent. We're not able to find that in the market. And that's the reason why we, as business as usual, we are reaching out to a lot of students and colleges across the country to bring them to this industry, right from entry level. We are giving you the required training and ensuring that you have a steady career with this sector. So that's what I'd like to tell you on all of you understand that you have a huge potential and a huge opportunity waiting for you when you are graduating out of college. So you don't have to feel pessimistic and say, oh, even if I finish my graduation, I'm not going to get an opportunity. There is huge amount of requirement in the market, irrespective of the stream that you're working in. If you have some basic skills, open mind, open to learning, open to opening your horizons to different. Don't say I'm going to stick to only this domain. You can get trained in multiple domains, so you are available for multiple opportunities, and it will only help you be in a position on the driver's seat where you can call the shots, right? You can ask for what you want. So the more skills and the more trainings that you have equipped with, it's better opportunities for you in the market. So can we go on to the next slide, please? So that's what I was talking about, an open mindset. I think I've covered this. The next slide. Yeah. So I just want to let you know that your attitude, right, in terms of what you want to do, how you want to carry yourself, will decide where you will reach in your professional career and even in your personal career, right? So it all depends upon the attitude. How do you approach a particular situation? Like we've all gone through, I'm not going through this again, but I think it's very evident from what we have all experienced. It's our attitude that has brought us out of this pandemic, right? Today we have fought this huge pandemic and we are coming back to looking at things with a new perspective and getting things back to normalcy. So I think all of us have the right attitude. We just need to carry forward, and with an open mind, I think we will scale the required heights. So you can go on to the next. So let me just give you a small brief about what our ITES industry, ITES industry is all about, and in specific regard to BPM. So it was earlier called business process outsourcing, where we used to take, BPM companies used to take over the entire processes from a particular industry. I'll give you a simple example of, say, Tata Motors, right? Tata Motors is in the area of manufacturing a cost effective and a technologically advanced car, right? That is their core business. Anything that is not core in terms of their HR, their finance, their procurement, their customer service, their sales function, sales and fulfillment, all those functions are not core to Tata Motors. So what do companies do? They outsource all of that work to other companies like us. Like there is Infosys, there's Wipro, there's TCS, there's in IBM, there is GE. There are many companies in this space, right? They outsource all their other non-core areas to companies like us. That's a simple explanation of an outsourcing company. Now, why is it moved from outsourcing to become business process management? It was earlier called BPO, right? And predominantly in the space of customer service, call center. I think that was the concept, I think 20 years ago. When BPO industry came to India, it was more in terms of a call center or data entry work that had come to India. Slowly, the companies started finding value in these BPO companies, where they add a lot more than just being a call center agent or a data entry operator. They started adding value because they started working with multiple companies and they bring in the best practices of these companies into what they do. So these companies found that, oh, if I was doing it myself, I would not have realized and I would not have improved my processes in this way. So they started heavily depending on companies like us. And from being an outsourcing company, we became a business process management company, where we were not taking the process from the parent company and doing it. We were actually running the whole process for them. We did not take out their process, but we actually invented the whole wheel all over again. Entire processes were done by these companies, and they found huge value in these kind of work that we did. So that's the short and long of what BPM industries. I've just given you a very simple basic example. Today's BPM industry does much more than just a call center or the finances or accounting. We do receivables, payables. There are a lot more that we do. Even legal process management, right? The entire legal department of a company is taken over by companies like us, and we run it for them. So what does it bring to the parent? Like I was giving you the example of Tata Motors. What does Tata Motors gain from this kind of a process management? They don't have to get into the nitty-gritties of daily work, of hire to retire is completely taken care by the BPM companies. Their bills receivables, accounts payables, their procurement processes, all are taken care by this company. They need to only concentrate on their core area of business, that is manufacturing of the car in the best possible cost and with the best technology. So that's all we are looking at, right? So we give the companies that much freedom, and then they get the best of other functions to them delivered at their office at whatever rates that they agree upon. So that's what we call it, business process management. Now, business process management, can you go to the next slide, please? Yeah, there are various other things that these companies benefit, right? What happens is when we work with multiple companies in multiple sectors. Just go on to the next slide. Next slide. This is a huge demand in this industry. I've already, yeah. So we service multiple industry types, right? And the service lines are what I was talking about: finance and accounting, HR, that is hire to retire, sales and fulfillment, legal processes. We do these service lines for all these industries, right? So we have clients from the automotive industry, the banks, the insurance companies, the chemical and petroleum companies, communication, energy, all these sectors, even government, right? There's an example where government has outsourced work to companies like us. An example is the entire passport making process is with TCS. So you have seen the difference that TCS has brought to the passport issuance, right? Earlier we'll have to wait in long queues. Now no more of all that, right? Everything is online. It's automated. There's a systematic process that has to be followed. Once that process is followed, your passport, you can fix your appointment with the passport office, go show your original documents, and within 6 working days or 12 working days or even within a month, your passport reaches your house. Earlier that was not the situation. You had to actually stand outside the passport office for the longest time, and there would be only few appointments, and it was chaotic. So that's what business process management companies have done to revolutionize even the government sector. Your IT returns are handled by Infosys, right? A lot of your Arogya Setu apps and a lot of that is taken care by Infosys, right? So these are where the government is outsourcing its work to companies like us. It's no more got to do with only their key work. We completely revolutionize the entire process to make it extremely good for the customer experience, right? We enhance the customer experience, and so the government as well as the companies are extremely happy with the kind of output that BPM companies are giving them. So just to understand, you, if you specialize in any of this, like your BCom, MCom students can, MBA students can specialize in finance and accounting. MBA students or BA, other students can do their HR, sales, fulfillment. It is irrespective of what your basic education is. You will be trained on all these processes before you actually get to work on the operations floors. And you have a definite path, right? You start as an associate, then you move as a team lead, then you move as an assistant manager, you move as a manager, then you handle the entire vertical, maybe a automotive vertical or a banking vertical. So you have a steady growth in this sector as long as you are able to enhance your skills, upgrade your skills, bring in new technology, and make your work easier and more efficient, and give the customer what the customer is asking, or even more than what the customer is asking. You have a definite growth path in this industry. Very paying. Only thing is, we say 24/7. I think so many of the jobs today are at 24/7, right? Because we service customers from different geographies, right from Australia to the West Coast in the US. So the timings that our employees are required to work is across the globe. We work 24/7, and our employees work sometimes at the client timing. Sometimes we work at their, when they are not working, we do the back end. So it really depends on the kind of process that we are taking over. The timings of the shift timings are applicable, but it's the salary is on par to the best in the industry. Lot of care is taken, the employees are taken very good care of in terms of transport at whatever time, food, everything is taken care of. The work environment, safety, ethics is extremely monitored, and it is very, very stringent, very, very conducive for for young students as well as anybody in this industry. It's as safe as any other industry, right? While we have doctors and nurses working, we have the airlines working. Similarly, our industry also works 24/7 and multiple shifts. And we have a lot of perks and holidays and everything that client holidays you get. You get everything that is applicable to any other sector of employment. So it's a huge potential. While you would wonder what would BA and MA students do, right? There's a lot of work in the sector of media. We have clients. Our clients are Google, Yahoo. So we do a lot of work to design their pages. So a lot of BA and MA students who are good at writing and literature and are able to express themselves in multiple ways would be very much needed for designing those sites and pages. So there is an opportunity for everybody in this industry. Whatever be the skills that you bring, you have an opportunity in this industry. So that's why I'm saying that you just need that basic level of skill and knowledge that I will definitely take you through what our requirements are. It's very, very basic, and after once you complete that and you enter an industry, you will be trained thoroughly in all the processes. So even if you work in a bank in India, right, you would only understand, okay, if I'm working for Canara Bank today, I would only know what Canara Bank does in terms of their ledgers and their debit and credits and all that stuff. But when you work in a BPM kind of an environment, you will be servicing multiple banks in different countries. You will be working for a US bank, you may work for a UK bank tomorrow. In the same, if you're in the same vertical, you will work with multiple banks, and you will get an idea of the various accounting systems that are applicable. Not only Indian accounting system, the US GAAP, whatever is available in Australia, US, whatever, any geo, whatever is their accounting system, you would be trained on that. So your breadth of knowledge increases. Your demand in the market increases with the amount of knowledge that you have gained over the years that you are in a BPM industry. If you know the American accounting system, the UK accounting system, if you know the Indian and the Australian, I think you have a broader base. So you would be able to scale up to any new requirements that we have. So that is the power of knowledge that you need to gain in this industry. That's the only requirement in this industry. Have an open mind, be able to absorb as much as possible. You will be given all the trainings, learning and development. I think these companies have a huge thrust on learning and development. All your apps are available online. You don't even need to go to training classrooms and sit and get yourself trained. Everything is available on the net, and at the click of your phone, you will be able to access all of these trainings. So it's all up to you how much you want to push yourself, right? And that's where you will reach in this industry. There is no stopping anybody who has the interest and the inclination to learn and build a career in this industry. Can we move on to the next? Yeah, so I'm not giving you too much about Infosys. I think all of you know about Infosys, and there's a lot of information on the net. I'll just skip this. I think you can go to the next slide. Right now, as we speak, we have 50,000 plus employees only in the BPM sector, while Infosys Limited is handling the software development and all that. There are multiple groups within us, but I think only the BPM sector, we are almost 50,000 plus. We have 120 nationalities working with us. We have 33 delivery centers across the globe, 14 countries that we service, and more than 230 clients as of now. So that's the kind of base that you will be servicing if you're part of this BPM industry and this small company called Infosys, where we are just 50,000 people. Yes, next. Yeah, so what is the eligibility to get into this BPM industry, right? 15 years of formal education, right? Good communication skills. What do you mean by good communication skills? At the time of entry level, you would have to go through an aptitude test. That is the first level of cutoff, because we have huge number of applicants. So what we do is, first, instead of testing the communication skills, we look at the analytical skills, problem solving and decision making skills first, because that's easier to wean away the number of people who will ultimately be tested on their communication. So the first level is always an aptitude test, right? So where we are checking your ability to understand the question, how do you answer that, what is that you're applying your knowledge to solve these problems. So that is the very basic level, after which we look at your communication skills, where we give you a small paragraph to write about a particular topic, or you are asked to speak about a particular topic, just to understand if you know how you're able to communicate. So there'll be various kind of processes. There could be a voice process, there could be a non-voice process. Voice processes are where you would be talking to customers. So then your ability to understand what the customer is saying and respond appropriately will be tested. If it is not a voice process, and if it's a non-voice process or a data process as we call it, then we will still look at how you're able to comprehend, right? You're able to read a email, or a customer query, or a customer complaint, and how are you going to handle that? So any which way, your reading, writing, your all these skills are tested, and that is a very basic requirement of this industry. That's very, very important. See, while we know all how important our mother tongue is, why do we have so much emphasize on, why do we emphasize so much on English, is because clients are from different regions and geos, and the only unifying business language is English, right? So that's why we are saying that you need to understand and be able to that's where we are getting a chunk of our business from various other countries, right? Because we have the talent, we have the domain skills. It's only that we need to skill up our students to understand the language English and be able to use their domain knowledge to the best interest of whatever work that they're putting their energies to. So that's why English is given so much of importance. It's because otherwise it'll be very difficult, right? India has so many languages. How does the customer or the client sitting somewhere in America or in Australia know what is the Indian language that they need to? So the only language that bridges all the gaps and gets on us all onto one platform is English. And that's the reason why we lay so much emphasis on English. We are not looking at great accent or anything like that. We just want you to understand what the client is saying and what is expected of you, and how you write a sentence without too many grammatical mistakes, and to the best, so that the client understands. So that's all we're looking at, a very, very basic level. And this, we have been multiple companies are training students to be able to crack this entry level tests. So that's very, very basic. Apart from that, we just look at basic computer knowledge in terms of Excel, Word, flexible to work. I said 24/7. You have targets, right? Every day, like if there are so many transactions, it's divided by the team. So each of the team members will have to process so many transactions. And this is a group effort. It is not a single person's effort. So if somebody is not there, then the entire work has to get distributed with the team. And so there is a lot of pressure in terms of numbers, because we have to deliver so much to the client. We cannot push it for tomorrow. But I can assure you, all this is taken care well. We have well planned with our talent. So there's no need to worry about how will I finish work, will they think, there's no such pressures. But it is all dependent on how efficiently you handle your work. If you are not efficient, if you are not able to understand, then you take longer time. But otherwise, I think if you're trained, if you are after trainings and all the practice that is given, I think it's very easy for you to perform on the floor. That should not be a problem. So that's something that we talk about. Interpersonal skills, of course, because it's a team effort. So you have to be a team player. There's no one thing that you can do alone. The entire process is divided among the team, and the entire team takes this process through. So these are the basic skills that we are looking at the BPM industry level. Next slide, please. Yeah, so the screening rounds, like I told you, is quantitative aptitude first. Then there'll be an essay or an email or just have to talk. That will be an evaluation round where they evaluate how well you understand the question and how you answer. It also helps the interviewer understand what is the domain knowledge that you have gained, right? If you're a BCom student, how much of accountancy do you know? They may ask you very basic questions, but just to understand that, maybe you would be in some other different process, but they will test you on your domain. And domain, I think, is not an issue with most of the students, because it'll be very, very basic. From there on, they will be training you on different things. So that is the level of just to understand how much you're able to articulate whatever you have learned in your so many 15 years of formal education. The assessor has to assess you in that 5-10 minutes as to what is it that you bring to the table. So you must be able to bring out the best that you have in that 5-10 minutes. So that's all we're looking at. We're not looking at anything fancy. We're not looking at great vocabulary, but just be able to articulate whatever that you've learned in the simplest possible way, so that the interviewer is convinced that you have something that brings value to this company. So that's all they're looking at. And then there's a HR round, which is a most of fitment round with all your documentation and stuff like that. And then you will be, after you go through all these rounds, the exact area where you work, if it's a banking process, the banking team will speak to you, tell you what exactly you need to do, and then onboard you onto the company. So that's the screening process that we follow in the BPM industry, especially in Infosys. Next slide, please. Yeah. So aptitude papers, R.S. Agarwal is the Bible. I think you can start early, start in your first year of degree, so that you have enough time to go through that. And by the time you reach your final year and you attempt any of these tests, higher studies, any other companies you want to attempt, I think RS Agarwal is something that will really help you. And you will gain all the confidence so that when you go in for these examinations, you can crack it easily. There are quantitative, logical reasoning, and all these things that RS Agarwal is the Bible for most of the students. And I think we also have a lot of trainings based on these books, a lot of free resource materials available online. I leave that to you for you to look at. I don't even need to tell you. I think you're more savvy than us today, so you have all the sites, online sites, which are free resources available for you to practice. And it's a fun exercise where you actually do these question papers, and it actually throws out answers and gives you an understanding of where you stand. So it's more fun. It's not so much of a kind of a study and learn by heart stuff. It is good fun to work on these aptitude papers, and you gain a lot of experience and confidence. So that is something that I would just like to show you. I think you can pick it up from there. There are a lot of available. Next slide, please. So language skills, that's what I mentioned about English, right? You'll have to be able to listen, speak, write, and read. This is a very, very basic requirement. We're not looking at, especially the English language, where you'll have to understand what the query is and accordingly give your responses. These are the 4 areas, and you could do that only by practice, right? How much ever we learn the language English, unless we are using that language in our day-to-day lives, and at least give it a half an hour or 1 hour a day, there's so much of news that comes in. Your vocabulary increases. If you speak to your friends, you get the fluency. You'll be able to correct yourselves. There are apps that help you correct whatever mistakes you've made in terms of diction, in terms of grammar. So there are so many apps available online. You have to make an attempt. Don't feel shy and say, I can't speak the language. Just go ahead and start speaking the language. You make mistakes, it's fine. We all learn from mistakes, right? We still, till date, when we speak, we make a lot of mistakes, but we learn from those mistakes. And the idea is that we are being understood, we hear, we are being heard, we understand, and that's the only way that we can move forward. So don't ever shy away from not using the language. The best way to use the language is start speaking it from today. Start using words, start using make a sentence, look at how you're speaking, what is the diction, what is the pronunciation of each of the words. Now the online, you can even get the word, how do you pronounce a particular word, right? They break the word for you and help you pronounce the word. So there's so much of resources available online which can help you improve your language. So it's just a mindset. You just have to break that shackle and get out of that and just say that I'm going to start speaking the language because it is important. It is only helping you in your job and make you, you feel better, right? I can give you an example where we have the best IT guys in the country, right? Or in the world. India produces the best coders, extremely good at coding, extremely tech savvy. The point is, after a certain level, right, they'll be very good at entry level. They will be extremely good. They learn all the tricks of the trade. They're extremely good at coding. When they reach a particular level, as say a manager or a senior manager, that's the time when they have to interact with clients to understand the business needs and then do the coding and stuff. That's where they struggle, right? That's when they need help. They go out to spoken English classes to understand, how do I communicate to the client? So you'll reach a certain path in your career where you're extremely good at coding, extremely good at all the software languages and everything. But at a point when you have to speak to a customer, understand their needs, and then do the work for them, that's when people get stuck. So that's the importance of learning the language. You may be extremely good in your domain, but unless you are able to communicate that, it's going to be very difficult in your journey as you go up. Initially, it can get covered by your team lead, your manager, standing in for you, standing in front of the client and getting the requirements and getting you to do the work in whatever local language. As you grow, that's where you find, like a lot of them, the IT guys, when they have to go abroad, right, for on-site opportunities in the US or the UK, that's when they find it very difficult, very intimidating, that everybody talks only in this accent, this language, and I don't know English. I can do the coding, I can do it much better than them, but I'm not understood, and neither do I understand what they say. So that's very important for your own self-confidence and for you to be able to handle any clients. You have the knowledge. So how do you show that you have the knowledge is only when you're able to communicate that. And this language gives you that edge. So you will be able to face any customer, any client queries. You can be front ending the entire operations for the company. So that's where you should see yourselves. Don't limit yourselves because of the language. That is all I have to say. It's very, very simple. It is not difficult. It is easily possible for students to master the language to the extent that is required by the industry. We're not asking fancy, but whatever is required for your level and work is all that we are looking at. So it's not going to be difficult, but start doing that right away. When you're in college, you have time, please work on those skills. It's very, very important, because as you grow, your domain skills will be there, but this will definitely help you. And so start early so that you don't have issues when you're working, right? It gives you that edge. Next slide. Next slide. So then I think we have not got to the next slide, sir. Okay, there are multiple applications available online. You have websites, BBC Learning English, British Council has a lot of courses on English. You have English Central, you have Fluent U, lot of resource materials available for you to work on your English. There are a lot of words, right? Every day, if you can pick up the newspaper or read one or two of those, pick up words that you've never heard, small things. It just takes 15-20 minutes every day. You put that in practice and you will see wonders. So that's something that definitely there are multiple apps and websites available for you to brush up your English and keep using the language. Don't hesitate. Another very important thing is resume writing, right? Very, very important. I find as we look at multiple, so many thousands of resumes that come to us, we find except for the name and address and date of birth, everything else is a copy paste of somebody's resume. Please avoid that. Bring whatever it is that you have unique in your resume. While I understand BA, BCom students will have, you'll write all the similar educational background, everything. Please bring in any other attributes that you have done during your college days, which is very, very important. Mention about sports activities, mention about any internships you have done, any work that you have done in your course of your degree. If you have helped in any companies, say accounts of some companies, or you've helped your father or your brother or your uncle in some office work, please mention all that in your resume. That is important. We are not looking at the educational qualification. At entry level, most of you would be having the same, right? All of you would have been BA, BCom, BScs or MBAs or whatever. What we are looking at is what you have done apart from education. Where is it that you have used your skills, right? If it is something of interest to you, have you done a coding course? Have you done a something of interest to you, right? Anything like that. If there is something else that you have done, please mention all that in your resume, because that is what people will be looking at. When I look at a resume, if I see most of it is cut paste, same things are there in all the profiles, something which will stand out and give you that somebody has to actually look at that resume and say, oh, this person has done something different, and you would be able to bring that difference and you're at work. That makes a lot. Why do we look at sports activities or any other activities, say extracurricular activities? Because it helps you become a team player, right? You will be able to interact with different people, and in this role we may need a team player. We don't want somebody who is very good at a particular thing but cannot work with others. So these are the things that add value to your resume. So take time, make your resumes, give it a unique touch of whatever it is that you bring. Each one of you have a different set of talents. Bring that out, and that is very important. Today you have multiple forums, right? You have multiple websites where you can upload your resumes, where people will look at it. Even entry level resumes are looked at. If you put it on LinkedIn, you put it on any of the career websites, if you have something which others don't have, you will be definitely called for an interview. And I've seen that with multiple students who are even doing internships, right? They put it up on LinkedIn saying that I'm second year student and I want an internship. this is what I have done, this is what I can do. And there are a lot of students who are getting picked up from LinkedIn. So there are multiple ways. Please make a good resume in whatever format, but make it just highlight whatever is that you're bringing differently and make it unique. And that's what I want to tell all of you. Don't copy, paste, and resume and post it. It will not it will not see the day of light, because that's how it is. That's how important it is for you to have a good resume. Okay, that's and there are a lot of sites that are available. Also, there are a lot of websites for interviewing, right? How do we I'm not even getting there. There are so many apps available online which you can go through, and they will give you how to answer a question, interviews, and interview up, interview best, India Bex, everything is career cups. There are a lot of apps that are available for you to go through and see how do you answer questions for an interview. Huge lot of online, massive open online courses, MOOC, lot of courses available for you online. So whatever is it that your area of interest, ensure that you have looked at all these courses. What do they have? What are their areas, areas that they have covered, and which is of importance, right? That is where people will be judging you when you enter a corporate. Any corporate will look at different, like I told you, right, about accounts payable, receivable for BCom students. So understand what is the kind of work people are doing, what is it, what are these courses going to add value. You need not get a certification, right? Only for certification you need to pay for all this, but you can go through the course, understand the course material. For that you don't have to even pay any amount. So these are all open courses which are available. MOOC, you have so many, Udemy, Udacity, TEDx. You have so many apps available online. So you can just go through any of these apps, and in your area where you want to build your expertise, do that with these courses. It really helps. Do a lot of reading. It helps, because anytime you are asked any question, you will be able to answer it, apart from your syllabus and your other stuff, right? So this is all important, and today it's all available for you at the tip of your fingers, right? So there's no need for you to spend extra time and effort in going to classes and stuff like that. So you have to build your own expertise in whatever area you want to excel, and from there you need to expand, right? If this is your area or core domain, build that domain, and from there you move on to different areas within that domain. So that's how you build your expertise. It's very, very important, right? We also have something called Springboard from Infosys, which you can register. The website is available for anybody to register, and any courses, right from class 8 until now. We are all going into this app to do any of our learnings for today. Whatever it is that we want to learn, what we have not learned, or what is the latest in the market, what is the latest trends in a particular industry, it's all available just at the click of this button and on this website. So there's plenty for everybody online, and every other company is coming up with resources for online education. Thanks to the pandemic, everybody's been working on this, and they've brought it to you in the best possible way, right? Infosys Springboard gives you all the apps, how they are used in real life and in the real work scenario. So you will get live examples of how what you're learning is applied in the industry. So it's not just some theory that you learn, you will also know the practical aspect of that learning. So that gives you a little more interesting, examples. It takes you through very interestingly, not just giving you all the theory and the download, but actual practical application of all that you're learning. So very good site. Just have to go there, register yourself according to your interests. You could put down whatever is your learning path. You could create a learning journey and go on that learning journey. There's no cost involved. It's absolutely free, and you will get whatever certifications you want in the outside world. We are linked to all the other outside courses like Udemy, Udacity, MOOC. Any of those courses also will be available through the Infosys Springboard. So you could take those courses, you could get certified. All that is possible, right? To the latest in technology, from the basics to the latest in technology, you have it all there, including English communication. Everything is available on this site. So just have a look and register yourself and start building your skills and knowledge. I think that's very, very important, and start early so that you have enough and more time to feel good about it, right? So today your options are only limited as much as you allow them to be, right? There are so many, like I told you, the whole area of IT and ITES is open for talent, new talent, and we are looking at that. So just gear up yourself to be part of that, and then your learning journey actually starts. It's not a job that you enter, but you continuously learn. All of us, after 20, 22 years of experience, I can never say today I know everything, right? Everything is changing. I have to learn how to change my programs from being online offline to be online. How do I tweak? How do I make things different? So we all are constantly learning, and this is a learning journey that you will be got onboarded to. And it is not a job and feel, oh, if I get a job, I don't have to study anymore. It doesn't work that way. Today the job is just the stepping stone, and from there is when your learning journey actually starts, because every day is a new journey. Every day is a new thing. It's not going to be like yesterday, okay, I come and do the same job, right? It is not going to be that anymore. There are so many aspects that we have to look at and we have to work with, so many variables. So that is true for everybody, not just this industry, and all the more for people like you who are just getting into this area of finding your route and finding your place in the corporate world. So this is very, very important. Don't limit yourselves and say that this is all that I can do. There's much more the companies have to offer, and you have to grab it. Those who grab the opportunities and make best use of it are winners, right? The earlier the better for you. Don't wait for things to come. And with today's pandemic and a lot of other things changing, there are a lot of career paths also opening, right? There's content writing, there's digital marketing, there's bloggers. Everybody has space. Training and development has changed completely. There are no more classroom trainings, so you can even put your training in small video capsules and put it up there for your students. Or you can earn money in different ways, right? It's no more this regular doctors, engineers, or bankers. Those demarcations have ceased to exist. Now you can specialize in particular area and still do well and make a career out of it. There are multiple, we would have heard of all of these: content writers, bloggers, digital marketing people, all are making enough and more money and making a career out of them. And there's lot of things that you have in this particular career path. So there's no limiting yourself. That's what I'm saying. It's just how much you want to do, and that's where your career can take you. There are a lot of, employability has also changed. I've told you this, right? The number of people that we are looking at is huge. This is India skill report, and we today are hiring and have a huge requirement of talent. So this is only going to go up every year on year. We're just going to keep moving up, and I think it's almost 50% now in 2022 that we are speaking. What are the top soft skills? I think I have covered all of this. You can just look at it. It's problem solving, communication, management, teamwork, creativity, your numeracy, digital, and skills. Apart from that, it is only your confidence, drive, resilience that will help you, scale up any ladder. So that's what I had in mind when I was preparing this for you. I'm open to any question and answers. Any question and answers? Yeah, I've gone through this. You can go to the next slide. A lot of this. MOOC is your open courses that are available. Yes, next slide, sir. Yes, this also I've covered. All the open courses that are available. Springboard is what I have told you. This is the website. Very useful. Live examples. Connecting what you've studied to work. From 8th standard onwards to anybody. Any of us can go there and look at any of the any knowledge that we want. We can easily register ourselves and learn. It's a learning platform, extremely good. Yeah, that's about it. Any questions? Is there somebody looking at the chat? If there's any questions, I'd be happy to take those questions, sir. Hello.
Okay, now it is a time for vote of thanks. On behalf of our KSR Arts and Science Management, Principal from Placement Cell Coordinators and HODs and faculty members and students, I thank Madam Sally J. Krishnan for her valuable session of 1 hour. As our principal said, on Monday morning, we know that it is a hectic period for them. In this meantime, they have given a choice for us, and always Infosys with us. Whenever I want a query or whenever I want a help, directly I will call them and I will respond them within a minutes or within a seconds. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your help. And
Thank you,
another
sir.
thing,
Thank you for this
every
opportunity.
year we are having student induction program from Infosys. Every year, 50 of our students are trained, and all the 50 from our institution has been selected in various organizations, not only in Infosys, various organizations, they are in the top most tier companies. Thank you for your support and thank you for your session, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, ma'am.
Thank you. All the very best to all the students.
And
Thank you.
now we are in the end. Now session is going to end. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. End broadcast.